The number 8 and the number 66 are fighting hard for P2 here. 8 not trying. Oh, and they door bang a little bit right there. Ellswick probably able to get the run.
Ellswick has the run on the outside.
8 still not letting go. 66 riding that middle line, seeing if he can go ahead and take it home.
Coming to the white.
Final lap, ladies and gentlemen. It's a dragneck battle for the second place here. 8, 66 side by side coming in for the last lap here.
66 still side by side with the 8. He's going to get the drive down off the hill. The 8's going to try to work him up the track, try to take that line away from him. The 66 still rolling off the top. The 8's going to get a little tight here. He's going to drive to the bottom. The 66 is going to be a drag race to the finish line, and it goes low.
Going down and the rig is on. iRacing is where I belong. Discord's lit and the drivers are here. This is GEC, there's no room for fear. Green flag drops and the engines roar. 40 cars and we all want more. Mash the gases, we're on the line. Forward and we're feeling fine. Close in a slipstream dance, taking the corners in a high-speed trance. Try oval side by side in this GEC League, there's nowhere to
Happy Tuesday night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in here to the GEC NASCAR League THDesigns Truck Series at Talladega. Tonight we're going to be racing 80 laps, 212 miles in the Waffle House Speedway 212. And we are second. This is our second race in the playoffs. It's a 5-race playoff here for our Truck Series drivers. And we are about to wrap up qualifying in another minute or so. While we wait, take a look at those playoff point standings. Cameron Craighead with a pretty sizable lead using that regular season bonus and a win last week at Martinsville to have a 36-point gap over Michael Boyd in second. Then it's Landon Cano in third, Kyle Simmons fourth, Coleman Chapman fifth, Knox Thompson sixth, Lee Kiernan seventh, Jonathan Hammond eighth, Jonah Seawright ninth, Aiden Como, John Anthony, and Jamie Griffin rounding out your playoff drivers. But right now, everybody within reach with 4 races remaining. We got a lot going on. We're at Talladega, one of the biggest, fastest tracks on the schedule, where every driver has a chance to pull off the upset and take away the win. As we are just now wrapping up qualifying. We're going to have a 26-car field, 26 truck field, that is, here tonight. Thanks again for joining us. Already getting some shout-outs for drivers and teams. Seeing Let's Go Skidmark. As drivers are now hitting pit road. Lining up out on the track here at Dega. Should be a fun one. 80 laps. Going to take a lot of patience early on. And then it should pick up from there. On the last lap, anything is fair game and anything can happen. Last season, we had a race at another bump drafting track in Atlanta Superspeedway. Had a couple trucks end up on their roof for the finish of that one. You might have seen it in our highlight reel heading into the race. But this is going to be a fun one. A lot of drivers showed up for this race at Talladega. Again, this is one of those races. There's no barrier to entry. Anybody can get in, and if you can stay out of trouble and find a couple people to work with you, there's no reason you can't come away with a victory at the end of this thing. We're sitting on board with the 45. Jump onto the back of the pace car and look back through the field. It's going to be the 41 of Katz and the 42 of Anthony on the front row here for the Waffle House Speedway 212. Let us know who you're pulling for down in the chat, who you think's going to win if that's different. And any questions you have about rules or anything like that, we're ready to roll. All right, first shout out for the Sheep Mom, Soul Denny. As the pace car moves away, we'll start looking at our starting grid. It's going to be Katz and Anthony out front. Then row 2 is going to be Michael Boyd, John Sellers. Then Waffle and Craighead make up row 3. TJ Hanley, the one and only of THDesigns, and Landon Cano in row 4. Then Weaver and Chapman rounding out your top 10. Childs and Denny in row 6. Then Kiernan and Scotty Yancey in row 7. Jamie Griffin and Kaito Nasa in row 8. Kyle Simmons and Knox Thompson, row 9. Aaron Yancey and David Culleton in row 10. Jonah Seawright and Jay Monin in row 11. Then Kenneth Gallman, Aiden Como in row 12. Jonathan Hammond and Alejandro Khan in row 13. There were a couple EOLs from last week's race at Martinsville, so a couple of those drivers had to drop to the back. We're getting ready to get rolling here at Talladega. 2.67 miles around this track, so 80 laps, 212, a little over 212 miles. Going to be our race tonight. Again, with a 26 truck field, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to find somebody to work with. We've got teammates out there. We've got drivers with no affiliation, drivers in the playoffs, drivers out of the playoffs going for the win. Everyone going to be on a different agenda, but it's going to pay to have friends, whether that's a teammate or just somebody that's a good pusher and matches your driving style. As that pace car hits pit road, the 41 of Katz is going to lead the field to green, and green flag is out. Looks like everybody had a clean getaway to get this thing started. Here they go down into turn 1 for the first time tonight. So far looking very safe and clean, although there goes Kiernan to the bottom. A popular strategy sometimes here at Dega, drop to the back as soon as you can and ride it out. Try to avoid any early race cautions. Look like the number 6 going for that strategy right now. And the one thing he's got to be careful of, though, is not to lose the draft. If you get out of this draft, you are going to be a couple seconds a lap slower. And even in our first stage here, you could go a lap down. It looks like that's going to be a challenge there for Kiernan. Back up front, Anthony has gotten ahead of our leader, or of our pole sitter, Katz. Brought Cameron Craighead with him. Now they're running 1-2 at the front. They're single file on the bottom lane all the way back to 5th. That's Waffle. We were just talking about it. Kiernan has lost the draft, so we're going to have to keep an eye on him. See if he's able to maintain the lead lap all the way to the end of the stage, or at least to the first caution. See some folks cheering for number 28. It's Jessica Childs, driving for Skidmark Motorsports. One of those drivers that doesn't necessarily race on a full schedule, but shows up at these bump drafting tracks. Taking a second to look up this stat before I said it. I thought I knew it already, and I was right. Jessica Childs is also the winningest driver in GEC history at super speedways. 14 top 10s and 3 victories. Just behind her on the stat chart, Jamie Griffin. Right there to her outside in the 5 truck. He's got 2 wins. And as we say it, Jamie goes around. That's going to be our first caution of the night. The 7 involved, the 5. It looked like they were just getting 3 wide back in the pack, and it didn't play out the way we wanted it to. Back and take a look at what happened. We're going to focus in on the 7 truck of Aaron Yancey. Right there, he's running in the middle lane, drifts up, catches that 5 truck. It looks like Como is right behind him. He is going to skate by as Yancey rolls over his truck. Griffin straightens it out. We're going to have to go back and watch that from inside that 96 truck after this replay wraps up. It looks like Yancey might be the only truck with damage, significant damage anyway. Go back and watch that again, like I said, from the cockpit of the 96, Aiden Como. Right there as the contact is made. Simmons down on the bottom, able to scoot around this. And there goes the Yancey up over the top of the 96. And then you can see him landing upside down in the mirror. Quite a wreck here to get this thing started. This time, let's jump on board with Aaron in the 7. Up and over. Like I said, I don't think any other truck caught significant contact in that wreck. So we've got a couple people heading to pit road now. Looks like Griffin is going to come down, check on his truck. Culleton in the 50, TJ Hanley in the 9, the 09, that is. Going to hit pit road as well. It's a bit of a rough start here in the Waffle House Speedway 212. We do have a handful of drivers sharing their in-car cams with us tonight. We have Sellers, NASA, and Culleton. We're going to be jumping on board with those drivers throughout the race and showing their onboard cameras. Appreciate them sharing that with the broadcast. So far, it's been Anthony leading the majority of the laps. Started on the outside. Cats in the 41. Back to third. Started out front. So right now, 5 of the top 6 drivers are playoff contenders. They are going to be looking for stage points as soon as they can get them. And for a great finish at the end of this one. Take a look at our race analysis. It's going to be 80 laps for the whole race. Stage 1, 32 laps, and then 48 from there to the finish. Check in on our weather. It's a hot one. At least down on the track. 77 degrees in the air, but the track temp is 117. And this is maybe the only track on the schedule where that just is not going to make a difference. There is grip on grip on grip here at Talladega, not like Atlanta, not like Daytona, where the tires can wear out, the cars can get loose in the dirty air. At Dega, you're pretty much glued to the track unless you get contact to a bumper or a fender, like we saw there between Yancey and Griffin. As they're coming around, it's going to be 1 to green. Drivers getting lined up 2 by 2. So far, Sellers, back in the back of the pack, has the fastest lap by 0.2 over anybody else in the race. So we're looking for that one truck to move forward with that kind of speed. Easy to get fast laps when you're towards the back because you get a little space and then you get the drafting help of the entire pack. But it's what do you do with it when you get to that first truck in the back? How do you make space? How do you find your way up to the front? Later in the race, we'll see 3 or 4 wide probably, and there'll be a lot of options. But early on, you kind of just have inside or outside, and if your friends are in one of those lanes, you're probably just going to stick with them and hope you can all make your way to the front. This looks like a little bit of damage there on the 96. See if we can get a good shot there. And I can't tell if that wheel well fender is just painted black or if it's actually missing a section. The hood might be pressed up just a smidge. That's a technical term. No, I think his headlight areas are painted black on both sides, so maybe hopefully no damage there for 96. We've got folks in the chat cheering for 4 wide. I'm sure we'll see it later on, but probably not here early with just 6 laps in the books. Get ready to go. Green flag racing again. This time it's Anthony leading the field back to green, and he's got the 45 of Kano, giving him a heck of a push. As Anthony drops to the bottom, Kano tries to get there, but Craighead fills the gap before he can. And now the 45 hung out to dry without a drafting partner. He's going to drop back to that outside lane. That is a beautiful sight here at Talladega, watching all 26 trucks mashing the gas, trying to build some speed. As we check in on that. Oh, we've got a big crash. Hanley upside down and rolling. The 48 of Thompson involved. I'm going to go back and take a quick look here. That got ugly fast. as they were coming out of turn 4. Let's see, there it is. Hanley off the nose of Thompson. They both come down into the 9 and the 74. 74 hard into the inside wall. Hanley went up and over. Thompson still spinning there in front. We're going to go back and take a look at this from a number of angles. Looks like NASA was caught up in it as well. As we jump on board with a 19 truck. Oh, I'm sorry. That is NASA, not Hanley. They're both running those beautiful THDesign paint schemes. That's a full roll. Lands back on the wheels. Then Thompson is still spinning there on the outside. As Culleton and Hammond are collected, Griffin shoots through with no contact. Looks like the 71 of Gallman shoots through. Let's go check this one again. This time on board with Griffin at full speed. Griffin was riding towards the back after getting some repairs. He sees the smoke early and just navigates his way through, slicing and dicing. Great driving there by the 5 truck. This time, let's jump on board with the 50. He was not as lucky. As the wreck happens right in front of him. Or sorry, this is Simmons who goes hard into the inside wall. Then the 50 of David Culleton was up on the outside, a little further back. Looks okay, and then right there, Thompson just spins right in front of him. Nowhere for him to go. Not sure that was too bad of a contact either. And just like that, we've had 2 cautions in the first 10 laps that have really shaken up the field. 48 of Thompson is still in the pits. Kaito NASA 1 lap down. The only truck 1 lap down at the moment. So that lucky dog hopefully going to be waiting there for the 19. This what paint scheme is the 09 run. Okay, so Hanley's running more of a blue and white in the 09. Get those RVs out of the way. We're trying to look at these beautiful trucks. There it is, the 09 THDesigns truck looking sharp compared to NASA's. More of a pink, blue, and purple mashup. All looking good. But it's still John Anthony out front. And that black and red machine kind of reminds me of the 60s Batmobile. The 33 of Craighead is going to be in P2 as they come around for the restart. Right now, looks like both Hanley and Simmons have come back down pit road for a little more repair. We saw Simmons hard into the inside wall. It looks like he is going to end up using a fast repair to get that truck fixed up. Right now, I think only 2 trucks have had to use that fast repair. Aaron Yancey, the other driver, as he had flipped in turns 3 and 4 in our first caution of the night. Everybody getting re-racked and restacked. As we mentioned, there's only one car not on the lead lap. That's going to be Kaito Naza sitting there in the lucky dog position if we get another caution here before the end of the stage. Stage caution coming at lap 32. And we are actually going to have a little bit of something interesting playing out here. The fuel window in my notes is about 19, 20 laps. Right now we're 21 laps from the stage. And a handful of drivers did pit under that caution. So we might see some people start to back off and just sit in the draft. Maybe try to stretch it on fuel if this stays green, but we'll see if we can pull that off as Anthony pulls away as the green flag comes out. Kano already down behind Craighead. That leaves Chapman all alone up high. And he's going to need a dancing partner. You can see the 07 dropping back. Katz goes by on the bottom. Boyd is going to go by. And Sol Denny going to try to push the 07. Here comes Griffin to try and push the outside line, but right now it's the bottom lane that is moving forward. We've got some three-wide racing here in the middle of the pack. Everybody keeping up with the draft here on this restart. There goes Yancey to the outside. The 9 shoots outside of Chapman to lead that outside lane. Of horsepower heading down the backstretch at Talladega. If you don't like that, you're not gonna, I don't know what you're doing with your life. That is beautiful. Inside lane still dominating here at the front. Nancy and Denny trying to pull that outside lane up there. Now they're starting to move forward. They get by Weibel. And then Weibel pulls back ahead. Griffin now jumps out of the outside lane to the bottom. And there is going to be our next caution of the night. Looks like Culleton, Gallman, Handley, Simmons, Childs, and Kiernan all involved in this one. Let me go back. Try to find the first thing that happens here to get this caution started. Again, they're coming down the backstretch into turn 3. Got some 3 wide right here in the middle of the screen. And it looks like that Handley and Culleton get together. They collect the 67 of Monin and the 71 of Gallman. Then Hammond and Childs get sideways behind them. Hard contact for the 67. Then here comes the 19. 74. Hard into the back of each other. as they try to check up. Kiernan's there along for the ride, although I'm not sure he made any contact with anybody. Then just a little extra contact there for the 09 and the 19. So NASA can't catch a break here early on. This time, let's jump on board with Lee Kiernan. Let's see what happens from his viewpoint. Right in front. Oh, hard contact into the back of the 28. Able to avoid any additional contact, it looks like. By coming to a complete stop, sometimes that's all you can do. Let's try it again here. Riding on board with Cullen. The 09 or the 19 that came up into the 50. Yeah, Hanley is shooting in the middle here, goes around Gallman on the bottom, and it just kind of comes up into the 50. That's what kicks this one off. More time on board with Kaito 19. Oh, shoots up to the wall to try and avoid it. Can't stay out of the 67 though. I think the good news is 19 of NASA has not used fast repair yet that I can see. So still plenty of time to get the sledgehammer out, fix this truck up. The bad news is being involved in the caution like that will make the 19 ineligible to receive the lucky dog for that caution. Still going to be one lap down. While all that was happening, most of the field came down pit road to get at least fuel. Some drivers took tires. With the exception of 3 drivers here at the front of the field, the 48 of Knox Thompson, the 7 of Aaron Yancey, and the 96 of Aiden Como. And we mentioned it, so Como has not stopped at all, and here comes Thompson now. I imagine the 48 was doing some math there, riding around, and realized everyone is going to be good to go on fuel. Actually, now it looks like Thompson has picked up a black flag. Might have been, pit road might have been closed there. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, that black flag is now cleared. I imagine race control took care of that. But Como is going to be up front in 2nd place. He has not stopped yet this race. 16 laps on the tank. And like I said, my calculations were saying that the fuel window was somewhere between 19 and 20. So a bit of a gamble here for the 96. Even if our notes are wrong, I doubt anyone can make it all the way to the end of the stage, and that's why everyone came down right there on lap 15 to make sure they can race it out to the end of stage at lap 32. So Jamie Griffin rebounding now up to 6th. I think he's actually 7th there on the inside line, just behind the 45 of Kano. And Yancey, Aaron Yancey, that is in the 7. The truck that was up and in the air and rolling over Como about 14 laps ago is now up front in the lead. Hammond is currently running back in 18th. He had a extended pit stop to get some damage taken care of from that last wreck. About a minute in the pit stall. That's what has dropped him back where he's running right now. Pace car on pit road. Drivers are coming back through the restart zone. And we are racing again at Talladega in the Waffle House Speedway 212. Oh, there's already somebody up there 3 wide. That's Seawright. It's back down in behind the 53. The inside lane won the race to the restart on that one. Griffin now up to 4th. The inside lane clears the outside lane all the way back to Griffin. We were wondering if the 96 had damage. I don't know if he does, but he does not look like that truck can lead a lane right now. Anthony all over the back bumper. This is going to get sketchy as drivers are trying to make their way to the front, trying to help push this outside lane, and the 96 does not seem to have the speed to do it. NASA still the only truck 1 lap down, but Monin has come into the pits here under green. He's on pit road at 67, is going to go 1 lap down here in about 10 or 12 seconds. As the pack comes back out of turn 4 and down the front straightaway. And into that trioval. Push the 96. Let's jump on board here with John Anthony. Started out on the front row. Has led 12 laps tonight. Now trying to make things happen on the outside lane, pushing Aiden Como. Hear the throttle, not full throttle all the way through the turn. To the 96 there. And if there's any place on the track the trucks are at risk of getting a little bit loose and fighting handling, it's right there through the trioval. As the banking goes away, you kind of have to even plan ahead, especially if there's a truck in front of you taking air off the nose. Those front tires do not turn as decisively as you might expect them to. Miss the turn-in point. Get up the track a little bit and have the back behind you and get into it. So far, everybody doing a pretty good job traversing that front stretch trioval. Pretty big gap between Yancey and Griffin. Jump on board with that 5 truck. Somebody in the bottom jumped up into the outside lane as they were coming, made a move to the front, and that left a big gap and dropped Yancey back to 5. We're on board now and in car with Jamie Griffin. Working hard. Looks like Jamie got a haircut. He's looking sharp. everybody be really careful. You can hear the lift out of the throttle on turn entry, so nobody, or at least Griffin, trying not to get into the back of anyone. See what kind of speeds they hit here down the backstretch. 190. What I saw, we do have a lap car about to be caught by the field. That's the 67 of Mannen. Already one lap down. Going 2 laps down is going to really hurt his chances to get the victory lane tonight. You can always catch a lucky car 1 lap down. Once you're 2 laps down, you need a lot of luck to get that caught up. See that 67 up near the wall in the outside lane, just dropping like a rock. There's not much he can do. If he tries to throw a block on the leaders, that's really just kind of a setup for an accident. So now it is NASA in the 19 running 25th, 1 lap down. Now the only other car a lap down, 2 spots. And there's the 96 dropping down onto the apron. We talked about it. He could not make it on fuel to the end of this stage. Made it 23 laps. So put that in your notebook. That's going to be as long as it can go. Even with the cautions in between, 23 laps is going to be what you can hope for on fuel mileage. So it's now the 45 of Kano out front on the front bumper of 33. Aaron Yancey in the 7, holding strong after staying out in that last pit cycle. Strategy. Yancey's going to be the next car that's going to have to come to pit road. It's been 20 laps since he was there. Based on what happened to the 96, he's going to have to come down pit road in the next 3 laps. Khan jumps to the 3rd lane. And then Thompson jumps out in front of him. 3 wide. Here in the middle of the pack, with just 7 to go in the stage, drivers starting to get aggressive. On back to the inside, that's going to leave Thompson all alone, no help. Culleton going to try though. Thompson just begging and waiting for anybody to come up and try to help that 3rd lane. Khan's going to do it. Now Kano and Craighead jump to the 2nd lane to block. Now Craighead back to the bottom. Again, Yancey 22 laps on this tank. He is going to be risking running out of fuel if he doesn't come down pit road this time, and he doesn't. He's going to stay out. Hammond joining the outside lane, but they need more numbers. Jump on board with the 50 of David Culleton. He's a driver that knows how to get it done at these bump drafting tracks. Time GEC veteran. He's kind of riding right between the middle and the upper lane, trying to decide which one has the momentum before he commits. Now up to 13th. bit of a checkup there. Seawright slides up in front of David. Oh, we've got somebody going around. Culleton makes his way through. That was Kahn in the 47. And Hammond up in the wall. That was some pretty exciting onboard camera there with the 50. We saw that caution happen live. Let's go back and see what happened between Kahn and Hammond. Oh, that's a little late. They're on that outside lane. Oh, and they squeeze down. Kind of comes down right at the same time that the 45 drifts up. And then up into the 92. And we saw everybody trying to go low to miss the 47. Seawright has got those wheels locked up. A man manages to stay out of the 47, as does Weaver in the 81. And I don't think anybody had hard contact other than Kahn and Hammond, as there's the trunk lid to that 92 truck still bouncing down in the grass. Let's jump on board with Seawright. He was just barely able to avoid all of this. Just hard on the brakes. He does get into the wall a little bit, but I think you take that over contact with the 47 or any of these other trucks flying by. Great driving by the 13. He's going to survive to continue on here in the Waffle House Speedway 212. And now it looks like everybody up front coming down pit road. That caution came out on lap 29, which means that was the stage. So your stage winner is Knox Thompson in the 48. On lap 29 will be the official stage. Then Cameron Craighead, Aaron Yancey, Jamie Griffin, Landon Cano, Coleman Chapman, John Anthony, John Hammond, and Katz and Boyd, your 10 drivers picking up stage points here. Phenomenal stage one for our GEC NASCAR League THDesigns Truck Series drivers. Again, I want to thank all the drivers letting us into their cockpits tonight. Sellers, NASA, Culleton, and Griffin. I think all of them have had some excitement other than that number one truck of Sellers. He's been able to keep it pretty clean. Currently up to 12th. Pacing under caution here. After wreck involving the 47. Alejandro Khan for Infield Legends Motorsports. Cameron Craighead won the race off pit road. Again, we've had 4 cautions and 6 lead changes. Drivers have been fighting hard all night long. We got the lucky dog on that one. And it might have been the 96? I thought it was going to be NASA, but checking the running order at the time of caution. The drivers. Oh, it's actually the 28 of Child. I believe was the. Let's see, this is kind of hard to tell and go back and look, but I'm showing NASA still 1 lap down along with Monin, now Aaron Yancey. I wonder if while that wreck came out at just the wrong time for the 7 truck, they were running out of fuel. Yeah, so I think Yancey ended up losing a lap, either having to come down a closed pit road or ran out of fuel before they could get to pit road and got there extra slow. So there's still 3 trucks. I think that 4 trucks 1 lap down. NASA Monin, Aaron Yancey, and Como. 47 of Khan is the last driver on the lead lap. They come through the tri-oval here on lap 32. Craighead in the outside lane is your leader. We've got drivers down in the grass. That's NASA. Rough restart there for that 19 truck. Go back and take a look at what happened there. Now inside lane, they're a little gapped out. Everybody trying to get caught up just in time, and then a big check up there. The 19 goes back into the 47, trying to avoid whatever truck that was in front of the 19. And this has been a point of emphasis for the league this season, is making sure you get within 1 truck length of the driver in front of you. But when people are taking wave arounds or coming out of the pits late, driving around this almost 3-mile track and trying to get caught up at just the last second, it can be a little treacherous. You saw that out there, 19, that's the worst of it. Monin and Khan are also off pace. See the nose on that 47 is pressed in, as is the rear bumper. There's the 67 of Monin. Both of those drivers have had to make repairs, and I'm not sure they've gotten all of them taken care of right now. They have lost the 92 of Hammond is also struggling to keep up, just out of reach of those drivers ahead. Pretty good speed though for the 92. Looks like he is going to catch back up to the pack as he's over 190 miles an hour. They're driving alone. Back to the front. Thompson's led the last 4 laps. Ahead of the 33 of Cameron Craighead. He's led 6 laps tonight. And then John Anthony in the 42 has led the most with 12. Scotty Yancey trying to find his way through with them. Big check up there on the outside lane. Actually, they're in the middle now as Sellers is going around the outside. Jump on board, driver of the one truck. He's got the field 3 wide, now going to drop back into the middle lane. See how tempting it is to try and go 3 wide. But that really splits the momentum between the middle lane and the outside lane. And as long as that inside group of drivers are bumper to bumper, they're going to be hard to contend with. You can't get organized here on the outside. Bit of a run here for the middle lane. Boyd to the lead. Gotta be careful, that 9 getting squirrely. Sandwich between Sellers and Boyd. Outside lane tries to beat out Thompson and Craighead on the bottom, and that puts the 9 truck out by himself. The 5 truck has been lurking there in the top 5 on the bottom lane. The last 20 laps or so has seemed content to stay there, not forcing the issue. No more stages to think about from here, just 42 laps to the finish. Playoff drivers in the top 3 spots. 5 in the top 6. Right now, Como is the playoff driver in the worst position. Stuck a lap down. Not in the lucky dog position. Sellers tries to shoot to the inside. It looked like a Boyd. Couldn't make it fit. Somehow they made it out of there. With Boyd still out front. I wonder if that one truck is starting to overheat. You see him poking out to get clean air. That could be part of it. And we're on board with number 1 of Sellers. Pure focus here in the eyes. Driver of the one truck. And they get a big push. There, they got squirrely, but they kept the momentum going. Boyd gonna try to get down. Oh, so that was Craighead actually throwing a block to the outside lane. They just know where to go. Outside lane, they get a run down the straights, and then in the corner they get slowed up, and then that inside lane jumps up to throw a block. That's Thompson now that slides up in front of the 21. That leaves Craighead and Anthony leading the bottom lane. And all of these drivers balancing multiple factors and strategies. You want to push to try and get to the front, but you got to save a little and avoid causing any wrecks. You also can't get too close to the guy in front of you for too long without overheating. Sellers do this balancing act right now. And there goes Seawright to his outside. See him in the mirror. This is getting fun, ladies and gentlemen. The third lane has 3 trucks up there. Culleton, Seawright, and Kano, I believe. And the inside lane is just kind of falling apart here, is they can't decide if they want to be in the third lane or the middle one. The Yancey brothers look stuck together right in the middle of this pack. Aaron is a lap down, fighting for the lucky dog in that 7 truck. In a great position right here to get it if a caution were to come out. The next driver a lap down is Como. And he's about 5 rows back on the bottom. Comes that third lane. Just 3 trucks out there, but they are making it work. Sellers now jumps up to join them. For 3 wide. For 5 rows back. Boyd jumps up to the outside lane. That leaves the Yanceys leading the middle lane, with Waffle coming to join them. Oh, contact there as Yancey goes up into Sellers. Caution is out. Sellers having a rough time there as he went down in front of a few cars, then back up into the wall. Let's go back and see what happened here. We saw him starting to get squirrely. Boyd tries to throw a block, and I think that's what starts this one. Let's jump on board with the 9. Well, we got frozen up here. Right there just kind of causes a quick checkup as Boyd almost comes down into the 7, and then Yancey shoots up into Sellers. Let's see, watch that again from the 7 truck. Middle lane gets a run there at the last second, and they just have to check up, and that sends everybody a little up the track. I think Sellers is the driver that caught the worst of this. Really an innocent bystander there up on the high lane. Then Seawright and Culleton trying to get by. They can't stay out of him. That sends the one down the track and then back up into the wall. Parts flying across the track. So this is going to be another interesting and complicated Lucky Dog award, as the 7 of Yancey was in the position to get it, but I don't know if he had any contact there with any of the trucks as that was all playing out. We'll see if he gets waved around the pace truck. And it looks like the 96 is going to get it, be in the first truck without any contact as the caution would come out. So heartbreak for Yancey, as he was racing hard to stay in that Lucky Dog position. The 19 of NASA still struggling to get the Lucky Dog that they've been chasing all race long. And looks like actually the 7 of Yancey is going to get the wave around by staying out here. So both Como and Yancey are going to come around the pace truck. Como going to have an opportunity to pit, I believe. Manin in the 67 also trying to get a wave around. Manin is 2 laps down. And pretty much every single driver in the field other than Yancey, Aaron Yancey, came to pit road that time. Here we are again, 5 cautions for 14 laps under yellow here in the Waffle House Speedway 212. I want to thank everybody for joining us again out in YouTube. Remember to hit that like and subscribe if you want to catch all the GEC NASCAR League content, whether it's racing, highlight reels, music videos. We got all kinds of stuff coming out these days. We'll see the 7 and 67 should get the wave around here as that pace truck crosses the start-finish line and we get the 1 to green. There they go. Now they are going to have to hurry around. We saw on the last restart, drivers that took the wave around had a really awkward lineup where the 19 got pushed down into the grass even and lost the draft. So those two are going to have to book it around there so they don't have the same thing happen to them. Again, we look at those playoff point standings. Craighead in a really good position here with 4 races remaining, 3 after this one. Right now, he's out front. Michael Boyd, Evan Cano, Kyle Simmons, Coleman Chapman, all within 50 points of Craighead. The 33 truck finished in second there in the first stage. Almost maxing out points so far tonight. And just a few drivers have been sharing the laps led. Anthony, Craighead, and Thompson all with just over 10 laps. And they're your top 3. That pace truck hitting pit road for the 6th time tonight. They're going to come through that tri-oval in the restart zone. And the green flag is in the air. 33 truck out front leads them back to green. Everybody in the back keeping it clean this time. They come out of turn 2 down the backstretch. It's too wide. We'll see how long it stays that way. They were getting pretty comfortable going through. That awkward wreck occurred. Craighead out front with Anthony pushing. Thompson leading the outside lane with Katz in the 41 trying to help him out. Scotty Yancey in the 9. Also working the outside lane, and here comes the 07 of Chapman. right now, the 5 truck of Griffin and the 50 of Culleton have hooked up on the bottom. Back around 9th place. Jump on board with the 50. Check up there. They are going to be 3 wide now. As Katz is pushing the 3rd lane. The outside of Scotty Yancey. And this is what's so great about Talladega. There's so many, it seems like you're just riding in line, but there are so many choices to make every lap. Do you stay on the bottom lane, which you know is going to be packed together and keep a good overall speed, or do you take a gamble to the outside lane, and then when the outside lane gets checked up or something, do you take a bigger gamble and go to the 3rd lane and try to get to the front? And now there's that 28 truck slowly and steadily coming back to the front. Childs driving for Skidmark Motorsports. We mentioned this already. Leads the GEC all-time wins list at super speedways with 3 victories. There are only 4 other drivers that have ever won more than once, and only one of those drivers is in this race. It's driving a 5 truck just to the inside of Jessica. Both of them running just at the edge of the top 10. See how up and down of a night it has been for the 28. Started 11th, dropped as low as 24th, caught up in some of those accidents, then pitted and made some repairs multiple times, and now back to the top 10. Another driver rebounding from early contact. Sol Denny. The Sheep Mom in the 0-2. Started 12th. Dropped as low as 22nd. Here just after this last caution and restart. Has risen up to 12th. Followed by 28 to the front. Looks like the 81 of Weaver has picked up a black flag and is sitting on pit road. Not sure what that was for. See if we can figure out what happened there to Weaver. 1 lap ago. Take a look. He's coming to pit road. And that looked like a speeding penalty. Possibly. Oh, he's just going to come to a complete stop. Maybe some hardware issues there for Nate. Hate to see that, as he's now 2 laps down, still with a black flag. As Knox Thompson is back in the lead. Craighead, though, going to shoot to the outside. And then the 9 truck shoots to his inside, takes the lead. With the help of the 45 of Landon Cano. Tries to get to the bottom. Not clear. Looks like Thompson gave him a break, though. That was dangerous. You might get a break here on lap 54. You do that a little later in the race. Not going to go so well. Oh, and there goes Weibel down through the grass. Como as well. Kiernan gets sideways. No caution. Oh, Kiernan hard into the wall. We stay green. Again, that all started with Waffle going down to the inside grass. This is just a half lap ago. And a checkup there in the inside lane. Griffin tags the back of Waffle. That kicks this off. And then just a number of drivers, the 71 and a few others, lose speed. And a whole handful of drivers lost the draft as they were expecting a yellow to come out. Check this one more time. So the pack really spread out now. Again, there it was, Waffle down to the grass. Just reacting and checking up. I think Kiernan got the worst of it. Let's go do a little run through here to see what's happened to everyone since that incident. The front pack still pretty tight all the way back to Culleton. That's the first 12 cars. Then there's a lap down car of Aaron Yancey. Back in 13th place, Jonah Seawright. Looks like he is just barely going to lose the draft. Then if we drop back a little further, Hammond, NASA, and Sellers are working together. Right now, Yancey in the 7 is in the lucky dog position. NASA, the next driver, one lap down. And then they've got Kahn and Waffle just behind them. I imagine they're going to catch them here and they'll become a 5-truck pack. That's probably the smallest group of drivers you could have and still match a big pack's lap times, especially if they can get single filed and help each other. And just as I say that, Sellers shoots to the outside. That is not going to help this group. They're going to need to work together here if they want to avoid going a lap down and have any hope of catching that front pack. And a little further back, Simmons and Como. Then behind them, Gallman is trying to catch Boyd. And Boyd has gone a lap down. I don't remember when that happened. He was running up front. He's number 2 in points coming into this race. Oh, he actually picked up a meatball flag, heavy damage in the lap 55 caution, or in that non-caution that was 3 laps ago. They got it really spread out. Kiernan's still out there. He's in 21st position. I thought he hit that inside wall pretty hard, but I don't believe he came to pit road. He did not. So he is limping along. And then back up front. They're 3 wide. Craighead on the bottom. Hanley on the outside. And Childs now in the middle lane. As half of the field is packed here, racing 3 wide. The other half spread out all over the track. After that incident on the front stretch. They're almost officially 4 wide. As Childs, Culleton, and Griffin are stacked up in that middle lane. A lot of experience at super speedways for that middle lane. All 3 of those drivers, Childs, Griffin, and Culleton, with 19 super speedway starts in the GEC NASCAR League. As they now have Scotty Yancey leading the inside lane, and now Hanley and Thompson are all alone up top. Craighead leading off the nose of the 45. And they've got Anthony and Denny and Chapman and Aaron Yancey in that inside lane. 20 laps to go here at the Waffle House Speedway 212. And there are a ton of drivers that would love to see a caution here to give them a chance to get back up here with this lead pack. Jump on board one more time with driver of the 5 truck, Jamie Griffin. He's running in 8th position, 4th car on the outside lane. We're already starting to see the speeds pick up with the intensity here at the end of the race. Earlier on, they were just barely reaching 190. That time through Griffin at 194, topping out into turn 3. The intensity and focus on all of our drivers tonight. See it through those in-car cameras. Childs cuts down to the bottom off the nose of Craighead, and Craighead cuts her a break. Again, drivers seeming to be pretty courteous as they get their nose chopped at this point in the race. With 18 to go, it's only going to get more aggressive. Lane has disintegrated, but Aaron Yancey is still trying to make it work. Sitting in the lucky dog position. Oh, a couple drivers almost down onto pit lane. Child still on the apron, then slides up in front of the 33. What was that? Now Culleton and Cano take the lead. David Culleton in the 50 to the front. We're gonna have to see what happened right there. Just a couple drivers went off the track. I want to look, but this is getting so wild. They're 3 wide at the front for the lead. Jamie Griffin now out front, and he comes down to lead the inside lane. Now Craighead jumps up behind Yancey and Thompson so they can try to salvage a second lane here. Oh no! Yancey gets turned into Griffin. Craighead caught up in it, cautions out. Griffin spinning down the tri-oval into turn 1. Keeps it out of the wall. All right, first thing we're going to look at here, we're going to go back and see what happened to the 9 truck on the front stretch. Just a lap or two ago. Oh, it got loose and then came down across the 33. Slides into the wall and down pit road, then through the grass. And at the same time that was happening, Childs well, that must have been the next lap then. Childs came down onto the apron, and that let that inside lane just lose all their momentum. That sent Culleton to the lead. Then Thompson ducks in behind Griffin. And they get a huge push as Childs has to check up. That stacks up the 33 and the 42. The inside lane falls apart as Griffin takes the lead down low. And the 7 truck of Yancey gets some help from Craighead. And then the outside lane, they are pushing as hard as you can. Let's see what happens here. Oh, and the 7 has to check up. Craighead into the back. I'm not really sure what happened there. Let's try that one again. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why the 7 checks up right there. Oh, you know what it was? It was actually Thompson gets loose in the front. The 7 checks up to keep from getting into him. Then gets turned with a little bit of a bump from Craighead. That collects Griffin. And caution is out with 15 to go. Now, if you're Jamie Griffin, you really didn't want to see that. If you were the 7 of Yancey, you didn't want to see it because you were trying to get the lucky dog. That's going to make you ineligible. Yancey has actually picked up a meatball flag on that one. I didn't think the 7 had that heavy of a contact. Let's watch it one more time. Oh, he did hit the outside wall pretty hard. Griffin, too. Griffin not with the meatball flag, though. So the last few laps, just chaos. As we had a no caution spin that involved half the field. Everyone got spread out. A couple trucks are just limping around. Here's what we're looking at now. So at the front of the field is Boyd, who Boyd is trying to get a wave around. The 9 of Yancey is going to be the leader. Then Handley and Griffin. Griffin came down to... Griffin had to pit to clear the meatball flag he picked up in the wreck. Used his fast repair. And ends up 3rd based on the timing there. We'll see if he stays there. A little bit of a puzzle here for race control to unravel. But yeah, so Yancey came down pit road. What I'm trying to figure out is how did that play out into the 9's favor? He pitted on lap 63. That was 2 laps before the caution. All right, so Yancey came down, I guess, with maybe some damage from that wreck he had into the infield wall. Comes down pit road. Gets some repairs, comes out, is gonna lose a lap if this stays green. But the caution comes out. That cycles Scotty Yancey to the lead. Bad luck into good luck. TJ Hanley now on the outside. Knox Thompson and David Culleton in the 2nd row. Then Cano and Childs in the 3rd row. This just shook everything up. Pretty much every driver, half the drivers in the top 10 have gained double-digit positions throughout the race to be there. Hammond, Kahn, Culleton all up over 15 positions. Then Thompson and Yancey 14 and 13 positions. Kiernan looks like he's going to catch either the wave around or the lucky dog. That will put the 6 truck back on the lead lap. And once again, leave NASA in the 19 vying for a lucky dog position against Sol Denny and Aaron Yancey. No, never mind. Yancey is out of the race. Sheep Mom versus Catboy for the lucky dog. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever said that sentence before. But that's going to be a battle within the battle to watch. As they come out of turn 4. And the pace truck hits pit road. We're going racing one more time. Here for the 7th time tonight. Scotty Yancey in the 9, TJ Hanley in the 09. Lead us back to green. That one looks clean so far. Kiernan gonna have to really book it to catch the field. Again, he took the lucky dog wave around. And you have to book it around this 2.6 mile track to get caught up to the field. In that situation, I don't think he's going to catch the draft. And he picked up a black flag. For something I can't understand. Craighead now making it 3 wide. Towards the back of the pack. Trying to make quick work here with just 12 to go. Now the outside lane getting a great push. Great formation there, bumper to bumper. Mulliton is going to jump to the inside of Hanley. In behind Thompson as they both come down in front of Yancey. That leaves Hanley and Childs leading the outside lane. Here comes the 92 of Hammond, the 47 of Kahn. Drivers that have had issues at least once, sometimes a couple times tonight. Staying focused, moving back towards the front of the pack. All night long we've been talking about how long this race is, how you've got to wait till the end to make your move and be aggressive. Well, there's 10 laps to go. We're at the end. Who's made the best friends? Who cataloged a move to get to the front in their playbook? We're going to find out here in the Waffle House Speedway 212. The THDesigns Truck Series. His bump drafting through the playoffs. Here comes the 3rd lane now, led by Anthony and Craighead. There are 19 cars within a second of each other right now. 9 laps to go as they cross the start-finish line. Culleton getting a great push as he moves into the lead off the nose of the 09. If he clears Thompson, what will he do? Will he jump to the bottom or stick with the middle lane that got him there? Griffin up into the wall. Keeps it straight as they are getting desperate and aggressive there back in the back. That's around 15th. Kano gets shoved out. Again, this is the 20th Super Speedway race in the GEC NASCAR League for that 50 car. The 20th race for the 28 truck of Childs. The 20th race for Griffin. They know how to get there as Hammond gets shoved out. They cut it there 4 wide. Oh, it's getting tight. Hammond tucks in behind Kahn now. Back to 3 wide as Kano's all alone. Might get some help from the 33 and the 5. Hanley now leading on the bottom in front of Thompson. Jumps up to the middle lane. Culleton, though, goes all the way up high. off the nose of Kano. And David Culleton leads the field. What lane's he going to go with? Oh, a little bit of contact from Thompson. He gets turned. They're going around at the front. Caution's out. Most of the field involved in this one, ladies and gentlemen. We were watching it live. Couple trucks banging that inside wall. And the 50 truck still catching contact and damage as they just cannot get these trucks slowed down there in the back. And that was an ugly one. Really going to shake things up here with 7 laps to go. Let's back it up a little bit further. Culleton went to the middle lane. And then the 48, rather than pushing him, tried to go 4 wide. And then it was all over. Again, not saying that was on anyone specifically, but everyone is going to be fighting to get to the front. Let's watch it again. Again, it was Scotty Yancey down low on the bottom with Khan. And then right here, the 48 had a choice. And again, you've got to go for the win. You've got to go for the lead. Kano up into the fence. Craighead gets turned as he comes down on Anthony and Katz. Gallman goes all the way to the bottom to avoid this, and then right where that pit wall kicks out, catches contact for the 71. Griffin with contact all throughout that. Como involved. Sellers might have made it through clean. Wow. And along with that, it looks like we've got a couple drivers getting disqualified for incident points. I believe that's the 48 of Thompson, the 28 of Childs. Let's see if we can catch that one more time from the along with Sellers. Again, I believe the one truck is going to survive this thing. It's all happening in front of him. He was a little bit of contact with the wall. Maybe a little bit of contact with that truck just in front. But for the most part, looks to have made it through. Man, the parts just flying off of these trucks. And with that, we got 5 laps to go. Not quite going to be a green-white checker finish. We've got a lot of drivers with issues. So Kano on pit road, now 1 lap down, trying to fix a meatball. I think taking a tow is why it looks like he still has his fast repair to use if he wants it. What a turn of events here at the end of the race. And we just mentioned the 28 of Childs getting disqualified, we believe, for incident points, hitting the limit. And Jessica's actually going to join us up here in the booth. Welcome the driver of the 28. Jessica, how you feel about that one? It's been a rough night for most of the field.
Oh, it's been a rough night, Cochran. I didn't even cause a single wreck, and I got too many incident points and just got disqualified. So was working our way back to the front and didn't quite work out.
And we weren't the only one. Aaron Yancey is out. Knox Thompson out. We've got a couple drivers. Monin, 4 laps down, effectively out of it. Hanley, 2 laps down. And we've been saying this all night long. The 19 truck of Kaito NASA has been in the lucky dog or almost the lucky dog all night long. Can't quite get there. The other driver going to be one lap down is Griffin. And he's on pit road, still making repairs. This has been a wild one, but up at the front, it's Alejandro Khan in the lead with Hammond in second, then Seawright and Chapman. You know, you were out there racing with these trucks. Who do you think has the skill and the speed to make it to the front and stay there?
I don't really know. I thought Craighead was going to stay up there for sure, but I don't know. Everybody's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, the 33s look fast all night when he can get clean air and to the front, but he's been caught up in accidents just like everybody else, especially that last one, currently running 10th. This has been a heck of a playoff race here at Talladega, and as someone in the live chat just pointed out, Infield Legends Motorsports sweeping the front row right now with Khan and Hammond. Khan not making the playoffs this season, but up front leading this race right now after overcoming some adversity early on. Got one of my favorite paint schemes out there with a Mr. Meeseeks on that inside fender. A little Rick and Morty action. Let's see other drivers. Other teams doing well. Seawright there, the lone driver for JWR tonight, but up in third. Dirty South Racing got two drivers in the top 5. They got to feel good about that. And Sellers and Simmons right there for Outlaw. Right now, pace truck goes down pit road again, and we get the green flag for the 8th time tonight. Waffle and Sellers are right there. We're actually going to jump on board with the one truck here for this restart. It's going to be 3 laps to go when they take the green flag, and there it is. We are racing again at Dega.
It's going to be an interesting finish, Cochran.
Absolutely. You think we can get this one finished, or we've got another overtime coming?
I think we got another one coming.
They're 3 wide already up front. Waffle to the middle. Seawright trying to get around the 92 up front. And the lanes are all over the place. Hammond trying to make it 4 wide, and he does, but he collects Seawright down through the infield. No caution yet. Denny into the wall. There goes NASA and Monin. We stay green, though. They're 4 wide at the front. And that's Coleman Chapman in the 07 that has taken the lead on the outside. Sellers is pushing him. Kano on the outside all alone. Chapman can't decide where to go. Sticks with the middle lane for now. Michael Boyd coming back from being at least 1 lap down. It might have been 2 at one point. He's the 3rd truck in that middle lane, and here comes Craighead. He's the 4th truck on the bottom. It's anybody's race that's in this front pack right now. 2 laps to go down the backstretch. Oh, there goes Chapman off the nose of Sellers. Hard into the wall, up, under, and over Kiernan. Sellers is flipping. There's the caution. Holy cow. Craighead's getting wrecked. More contact. Sellers and Chapman both. Let's go back and see what happened here with just 1.5 laps remaining. Chapman drifts up just a little bit, and that brings the fenders of Sellers and Chapman side by side instead of front to back. Then it looks like Craighead and Sellers get together. We're going to have to see that one. As everybody gets desperate here. No, this is after that. Let's
It's been a rough one out there tonight.
see what happens here. Oh, yeah, they just kind of get into each other after that wreck. Sometimes after you make it through the first part of a wreck, you lose a little bit of focus and some of the spatial awareness as trucks are flying by and you're catching up. Wow. Let's see. I think I want to see the view from Kiernan's truck here.
Yeah, looks like he has some damage.
Can back that up. Here we go. Oh, that was... Man, Sellers went for a ride. Craighead blinking out and everything. Then more contact for Kiernan. Wowza, and a number of other drivers getting disqualified. As this thing is wrapping up. Como now disqualified on incident points. Culleton out on incident points. Griffin's in the pits making maybe more repairs than we've got time to wrap up. And it looks like Jamie's going to join us in the booth as well. I'm going to give you a second to catch your breath before I ask you what's going on out there. It's been an exciting one to watch, but a lot of drivers having their night ended early with incident point limit.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. It's just everybody's being a little bit aggressive towards the end of that last one, but it seems like the number 7 just couldn't keep his truck off me all night.
Yeah, that second one in particular was kind of just like a domino effect. Whatever truck was in front of him got loose right in the tri-oval, and the 7 checked up to avoid it and then got run into and turned by whoever's behind him because he had no idea they were checking up. I'd say the second one, I don't remember the details of the first one, but the second one in particular was just kind of a wrong place at the wrong time for both of you guys.
Yeah, it didn't work out so well for me. I wound up getting like 8 minutes of damage, unfortunately, but you know, we'll go out and get them next time, man.
Well, we got some great in-car shots of you. It looks like you got a haircut, maybe looking sharp. So at least you got that going for you.
That's great.
I think we've had an opportunity to be on board with all 4 of our drivers tonight. Again, it looks like, I mean, Sellers looks like he's having a blast on his in-car camera, even if he just flipped for the 3rd or 4th time tonight. Man, we were really looking at the stats. I don't know if you guys knew this, but this was the 20th super speedway race for both of you and Culleton in the GEC NASCAR League tonight.
Yeah, I had no idea. That's great.
And there's only 5 drivers that have won multiple times on super speedways, and you are 2 of them.
And yeah, I believe Jessica got hers in there too, right?
She is the leader.
Yeah.
With 3 wins.
I'm the leader at this track, but not tonight.
We had our eyes, especially when all 3 of you were lined up there in the middle lane a couple laps ago. We were hoping the experience would pay off, but this has just been a wild Talladega race.
This is the first race I've ever gotten disqualified from.
I wish I could say it hasn't happened to me, but it has for sure. Now as everybody's getting sorted out, there's going to be 14 cars on the lead lap. Kano and Hanley going to be battling for the lucky dog if another caution were to come out. This is going to be our first green-white checker attempt. Here as we are about a 3/4 of a lap from going back to green. Had 8 cautions. One of those was the stage, but it was also a caution at the same time. We've had 19 lead changes. And about half the field has led at least a lap here. Knox Thompson led the most with 21, but he is out. Craighead has led 19, and he's outside the top 10. And so we've got a new name up front. Weibel, Robert Weibel, 53, driving for Dirty South. Got his teammate Michael Boyd in 5th. Chapman is in 13th. He was heavily involved in that last caution. We'll see if he's got enough repairs made there. And as we look at our wrench wranglers, leading the stat is Jamie Griffin with 11 minutes of repairs made on the night. Kano with 4 minutes, but Michael Boyd with almost 2 minutes, and he's running 6th. Simmons with almost a minute and a half. He's running 2nd right now, ready for this restart. So a couple drivers able to survive the wrecks and the repairs. And they're coming out of turn 4. It's going to be a 2-lap battle here. The first green-white checker attempt. If there's a caution on that first lap, we're going to re-rack it and do it again. But if there's a wreck on the last lap, it's a race back to the checkered flag at full speed. Waffle and Simmons out front. Kahn and Katz. You know, we haven't seen much out of that 41 truck since he was on the pole to start this race, and there he is. Second truck in the outside lane. Good restart for the bottom lane, especially Waffle. Get a little bit of a gap. That is not always what you want here at the super speedway as they pick up pace. They might run by you here. And here comes Kahn with the push from Hammond and Anthony on the bottom. Simmons and Katz on the outside. Just the two of them there, really, but here they come. Seawright in the 3rd lane. What are those front runners going to do? They're going to stay in the middle, it looks like. Simmons, though, thinking about it. Boyd goes with Seawright. As the inside lane pulls away. We've been talking about it all night. The middle lane and the outside lane kind of compete to share momentum. And there goes Kahn shooting it to the middle with Hammond going with them. They're going to go around Waffle. In the 2nd lane, a little bit of contact, but they stay straight. White flags in the air. We're racing back to the checkers now. 4 wide behind them, then back to 3 wide. It's Kahn on the bottom. Hammond with the push. Simmons in 3rd. Seawright and Boyd all alone up high. I don't think they can get there. Waffle gets a little squirrely as Anthony squeezes inside. Contact there. Waffle did not appreciate that. And it's Kahn up front, getting the push from Hammond. Hammond now to the inside. Their teammates, what are they going to do? 4 wide, 5 wide to the finish. Look at this. Alejandro Kahn down low as they spin. He takes the victory for the 47. His trucks are going all over the track.
What a finish.
Alejandro Kahn, with the help of his teammate in the 92. Both of them on a podium finish here as Anthony gets to 2nd. Gallman in 3rd, Waffle 5th. And
Yeah, that was an incredible finish.
we've got drivers hitting the incident limit even after the race is over. I don't think that will affect the finishing order as long as it happens after the checkered. Kahn, Anthony, and Hammond. 2 of the infield legends, motorsports drivers. And here comes the bird out for Alejandro. What a race for the 47. We've got Daniel Kahn and Monica Kahn in the chat cheering on Alejandro. Love to see the fans showing up for the 47. As he brings it down into the grass. What a finish. All race long, we talked about how the playoff drivers were dominating the top 5, the top 10, and there it is, only 2 drivers in the top 7 in the playoffs. As Kahn takes the victory, Gallman, Waffle, Denny, and Katz all scoring a top 10 as well. There's going to be a lot to unpack there. While we wait for our podium drivers to join us up in the booth, let's take a look back at what happened right at the checkered flag. They go 5 wide. And then I'm not sure if it was Chapman and Waffle that started that. Either way, pretty much everyone made it across the checkered before any damage got picked up by anyone. Let's watch it again. 5 wide. Yeah, contact from Chapman into Waffle as they're pushing hard at the finish. That's what started the contact. Then a whole pile of drivers coming across the line as fast as they can. And we got to find these podium drivers. I know they're down there in the chat somewhere. See if we can get them. Where are they hiding? Hey, if anybody's in contact with those infield motorsports guys, tell them to get up here in the booth so we can talk to them. There we go. See if we can get Hammond and Anthony as well.
You said John Anthony?
Yeah, I just got him in
Got him.
here. And then now we just need third place, Hammond.
Well, I'll send him one.
Oh, son, let me talk. Let me get him.
All right.
They're calling you, bro.
I'm in here.
All right, let's kick it off with our third place finisher, Jonathan Hammond in the 92. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
How about that? We saw you working with your teammate there at the end. So much excitement after a long race with a ton of wrecks. You survive the chaos and make it to the front at the end. And then both of you come home with a podium finish. Talk us through your night.
Yeah, well, I was kind of just trying to stay clean. We were trying to get there at the end of the stage. Kind of made a mistake, got wrecked, had to use the fast repair there. So kind of after there, kind of just sat in the back, played it safe. We got lucky with that caution once everybody started getting spread out. So and then once everybody wrecked there, and somehow we were 8th and 7th, and we just tried to stay up there. And I was just pushing my teammate to the front. I know it says 3rd, but it looks like I got DQ'd with the 24X right off the start finish line. I got hit, so don't look like I'll keep the 3rd, but I'm glad my teammate Con won it.
Well, at least in my overlay, it's keeping you. Oh, well, in one of my overlays has you in 3rd, and one of you has you in 12th after the DQ. So we'll see how that plays out. But we'll talk. We're excited to talk to you anyway. That is so cool to see teammates running up front and have the opportunity to help each other. We talked about it early in the race that whether it was teammates or just drivers you like working with, having friends would be the key to the victory at the end. So that was just awesome to see that happen. And is there anybody else you want to thank out there? We know you guys have a ton of fans in the live chat tonight that were cheering you on. Anybody else you want to thank for tonight's run?
Oh, well, I want to thank the fans that were in the chat. I want to thank my teammate. I'm glad he got his first win. I'm glad I pushed him to the front. I told him that I was going to protect him just like Earnhardt, and that's what I had to do for him. But I wanted to shout out Infield Legend, and we did this one for Steven.
All right. Well, congratulations again on the podium or solid finish or teammate win. However this one plays out, that was an exciting race to watch.
Glad, really excited for you guys.
All right. Next up, we'll do who may be the third place finisher, depending on how those DQs and incident points play out. That's Gallman, driver of the 71. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
How about that? We saw you avoid a wreck about 10 laps earlier just to get caught by that pit wall that kind of peeks out there in the infield. Thought that might end your night, but you come home with at least a fourth, maybe a third place finish here, depending on how this works out. Walk us through your night.
Oh yeah, I just kind of hung around in the back, and I thought, well, I'm just going to hang back here and just try to miss it. And I was able to miss a couple, and that wall it come out and got me a little bit. I scrubbed it a little bit, but it was a lot of fun. I didn't know if I made it across the finish line there. I think I was on my top.
Well, it still counts whether you're on your wheels or on the roof. Congratulations on the run there. And anybody else you want to thank for how you pulled that one off tonight?
Yeah, man, I want to thank y'all. I tell you, I got caught up watching these GEC races, and I got hung on it. And I just want to thank my son, Scott Gallman. He got me in this, and he's helped me out a bunch. And I want to thank the THDesigns for the paints. And again, you guys do a wonderful job up there. I mean, I was unprepared. I wasn't expecting this. So,
well, sometimes that's the fun. We're watching the finish on screen in slow motion right now. I'm gonna see. It looks like you're still on your wheels. Oh, you get tagged. Yeah, you're still on your wheels.
Okay.
As you cross the start finish line, so I think it's gonna be good there. So congratulations again. Great run there for the 71 skid mark. And again, love to see all the folks in the chat cheering on your team. You guys have a lot of fans as well. Congratulations again on the finish.
Okay, thank you, sir. Take care.
All right, next up is the driver of the number 42, John Anthony. John, you got a copy?
I do. I have a copy.
All right. Now, you're one of the drivers that actually started on the front row. And then it just seemed as the night went on, you got forced further and further back in the field through these cautions. And then you come right back to the front on the last lap. Walk us through your night.
Yeah, it was great to start up on the front row. Figured, try to stay ahead of the chaos that was happening in the back. And, I had my teammate Craig head up there. So it was definitely a smooth first portion of the race. But then kind of after the stage, things started really picking up. We were just trying to maintain and try to just run and try not to get too crazy. But as you can see, it went crazy. But I think I think you guys had a good race put on for you. I think the fans all liked it. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. As a race director, I think I'd say there were too many cautions, but as a broadcaster, I'd say it was just about right. That was a pretty exciting race. And especially there, sometimes we go through the field and look at all the paint schemes and admire all the work of Laughing Llama and THDesigns, but you're running kind of just a, basic classic red and black. Reminds me a little bit of the 60s Batmobile. So just want to give you a shout out for that. Nothing goes out of style with that scheme you got there.
Yeah, thank you. I just kind of ran a plain black truck pretty much tonight with a little red on it, and hopefully, it's taken me a while to get a podium here this year. So I've been really battling, but just couldn't finish it. So it was great to be able to do that tonight.
Yeah, nothing wrong with second here of the day like we had with so many cautions. You survived it all, made it to the end, and got on the podium. So congratulations again for that 42 truck.
Thank you.
And then finally, the winner of tonight's race, driver of the 47, Alejandro Khan. You got a copy?
I hear you loud and clear, man. Loud and clear.
All right. How about that? You're coming around to this final start. You were caught up in at least one wreck early on and just kind of hanging on, biding your time, and then you survived that big wreck there with 5 laps to go. You cycle to the front, and you got your teammate with you. Walk us through your night, but specifically what you're thinking coming into that final restart.
Definitely coming through in that final restart, I knew I had to go in there hard. Had to get a good restart. I knew last restart I started first and I got the lead. Got a huge restart and then they kind of caught up to me. So I knew I had to stay on that guy's bumper. And I basically did. Held it all the way through. Once I saw Hammond behind me, I knew we kind of had this. Like coming to that trial, I came a little to the right and he actually blocked me. I think that's why everything went 5 wide. Blocked those guys for me and took home the win, man. First win, man. Love to see it.
Yeah, that was really exciting. I think especially those last 2 wrecks kind of just flipped the whole leaderboard where people who, maybe were going to have to be really aggressive to get to the front suddenly had an opportunity to just be up front like you, like Waffle, and Gallman. And then it was exciting to see what you did with the opportunity there. As you said, your teammate was trying to help you out. He's also trying to help himself at the same time. Looks like he did get a few incidents right before the checkered finish that might keep him off the podium, but either way, it was a great team battle there at the end for Infield Legends, and congratulations. And you've got one of the best groups of fans out in the live chat. They're always engaged and cheering you guys on. But is there anybody else you need to give a shout out to thank for tonight's great finish?
Of course, man. I just gotta say thanks to Infield Legends, my family, my Monica Khan, Daniel Khan, my lawyer Nico, my dog Icy, Mr. Meeseeks. Basically, I got this PC 5 months ago, man, and to get my first win here in GEC, first league, to get a dub in Dega, nothing better, man. I was shaking the whole way through.
It's awesome to see. Yeah, we love to see. It's always great. We talk about the veterans. We were talking a lot about some of the drivers that have multiple super speedway wins at GEC, but they were all caught up in the accidents. And so we get to talk about a first-time winner here in the driver of the 47. So congratulations again. And this hopefully can build you some momentum heading into next season. I know you didn't make the playoff cut this year, but I think this should give you some confidence that it's something you can do next season for sure.
Of course, appreciate it. Thank you for all that you do at the booth, and thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. That is the driver of 47, Alejandro Khan, bringing home the checkered flag here in the THDesigns Truck Series in the GEC NASCAR League. That's going to wrap up our interviews. We're going to take one more look at the final results. We'll see. We did have a couple drivers, as we mentioned, that got caught up with the incident point DQ there right at the end. And we'll see what how that works out. At least for now, it looks like your podium is going to be Khan, Anthony, and Gallman. Then Waffle, Denny, the sheet mom, bringing out the top 5. Then Katz, Chapman, Seawright, Scotty Yancey, and Craighead, the top 10. Lee Kiernan, Jonathan Hammond, Kyle Simmons, Michael Boyd, Landon Cano, the top 15. TJ Hanley, John Sellers, Aiden Como. See if we can get this thing to cycle through. There we go. Jamie Griffin in 19th. I think we were having too much fun watching those replays. We might have broken the overlay software. There we go. Griffin, Culleton, NASA, Thompson, Childs, Monin, Aaron Yancey, and Nate Weaver. Going to round it out. I think Weaver must have had a hardware issue. We'll have to check on that later. But a great race. Congratulations to our podium finishers. Congratulations to all of our playoff drivers. Heading in, just 3 weeks remain here in the THDesigns Truck Series, and it only gets harder from here on out. The schedule for these truck drivers, we head to Kentucky, Michigan, and the Milwaukee Mile to wrap up the season. I want to thank everybody out on YouTube for watching. If you like the GEC NASCAR action you saw tonight, tune in Thursday night as the Cup Series will be at Dega for their own race, as well as those other 3 tracks to wrap up the season. We love having you. We love seeing you cheer us on. For everybody up here in the booth, everybody at GEC, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Sun's going down and the rig is on. iRacing is where I belong. Discord's lit and the drivers are here.